battle for smartphone supremacy has been a two-horse race for years, a constant back and forth between two giants, each claiming to offer the pinnacle of mobile technology. But this year, something has changed. The race is over. Samsung's reign with its Ultra lineup has officially come to an end, and I have the proof. What if everything you thought you knew about flagship phones, all the marketing hype and spec sheet showdowns, was about to be turned completely upside down? For years, we've been told that Samsung is the innovator, and Apple is the one that plays it safe. But the truth has finally been exposed. This isn't just another comparison video. This is a systematic dismantling of the Galaxy S25 Ultra myth. By the end of this, you will see the undeniable evidence that proves the iPhone 16 Pro Max is not just the better phone. It's the only smart choice you can make in 2025. Samsung is making a lot of noise about its supposedly reinvented design for the S25 Ultra. They'll boast about the new flat screen and squared-off corners, presenting it as a bold new direction. But what they aren't telling you is that it's a massive step backward, a design deception meant to hide the fact that they are still chasing Apple's shadow. While Samsung is busy reinventing the wheel, Apple has been perfecting it. The iPhone 16 Pro Max continues its tradition of meticulous refinement. It's crafted from a stunning grade 5 titanium, the same material used in aerospace engineering. This makes it not only incredibly strong, but noticeably lighter in the hand. Apple has further adjusted the contours, making it more comfortable to hold than any of its predecessors. It feels less like a device and more like a precisely engineered tool. Every single element, from the tactile feel of the buttons to the impossibly thin bezels, screams premium. In stark contrast, the S25 Ultra feels clunky. It's big, it's boxy, and the weight distribution is awkward. It's a phone you're always aware of and not in a good way. Samsung's one claim to fame here is the new anti-reflective screen, but this feels less like a genuine innovation and more like a gimmick designed to distract you from the fundamentally less premium feel of the device. They're trying to sell you on a single feature, hoping you won't notice the inferior ergonomics and uninspired, blocky design. It's a classic case of misdirection. Apple doesn't need gimmicks. It focuses on perfecting the core experience, and the result is a device that feels like it's from the future, while the S25 Ultra feels stuck in the past. But the design is just what you see on the surface. The real story, the one that truly exposes the gap between these two phones, begins the moment you power them on. Samsung's single biggest talking point for the S25 Ultra is its display. They have poured all their marketing dollars into convincing you that their new anti-reflective screen is a game changer. But the truth is, this so-called advantage is actually a massive weakness, and they're hoping you're too mesmerized by the lack of glare to notice the deeper flaws. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is equipped with Apple's Super Retina XDR display, and its mission is simple: to display content with perfect, uncompromising accuracy. The colors are vibrant but natural, sharp but not artificially enhanced. When you edit a photo or watch a movie on an iPhone, you are seeing it exactly as the creator intended. It's a flawless canvas for creativity and consumption. The S25 Ultra, however, takes a different approach. That anti-reflective coating, while effective at reducing glare, comes at a significant cost. It subtly but noticeably distorts colors, washing them out and giving the entire display a strange, almost sickly hue. It sacrifices color fidelity for a single situational benefit. You'll see less glare outdoors, but every single piece of content you view indoors will look just a little bit wrong. It's a compromise an uncompromising company like Apple would never make. A pretty screen is completely useless if the engine driving it can't keep up. And when we look under the hood at the raw power of these two devices, the gap between them widens from a crack to a colossal canyon. For years, tech enthusiasts have debated benchmarks, arguing over numbers that don't always translate to real-world performance. But this year, the numbers don't just tell a story. They scream a devastating truth that Samsung simply cannot escape. At the heart of the iPhone 16 Pro Max is the brand new A18 Pro chip, a piece of silicon so advanced it feels like it's from another planet. On the other side, the S25 Ultra is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Elite is a nice word, but it means nothing when you're up against a Titan. In a head-to-head test from the source material, exporting the exact same 4K video file, the iPhone didn't just win, it annihilated the S25 Ultra. It wasn't just a little bit faster, it completed the task in a fraction of the time. This isn't a marginal victory, it's a public execution of Samsung's performance claims. This raw power translates into an experience that is simply on another level. Games on the iPhone run smoother, with higher frame rates and more complex graphics. Apps launch instantaneously. Multitasking is completely fluid, without a hint of the stutter or lag that has plagued Android devices for years. Now, some early reports mention the iPhone getting warm under load. This was a minor software bug in a beta version of iOS 18 that has already been patched and fixed. It's a non-issue. Samsung, on the other hand, had to build a massive new vapor chamber into the S25 Ultra. This isn't an innovation, it's a crutch. It's It's a band-aid for a processor that is fundamentally inefficient and prone to overheating. Apple's A18 Pro is so efficient, it doesn't need a bulky cooling system. The final nail in the coffin is the software. iOS is a masterclass in optimization, a finely tuned operating system built from the ground up to work in perfect harmony with its hardware. Android is the opposite. It's a fragmented, messy ecosystem, weighed down by bloatware and inconsistent updates that prevent the hardware from ever reaching its full potential. But this performance gap is nothing compared to the controversy brewing in the camera department. This is where Apple truly exposes Samsung for the fraud that it is. Samsung wants to blind you with big numbers. They're shouting from the rooftops about their 200-megapixel camera, hoping you'll believe that more is always better. But here is the shocking, undeniable truth. The iPhone 16 Pro Max's smarter, more refined 48-megapixel camera consistently produces superior photos and videos. It's not even a fair fight. We're going to look at the photo evidence from the source video. In almost every single side-by-side comparison, the S25 Ultra produces an image that is harsh, overly sharpened, and artificial. It uses aggressive processing to create a fake sense of detail, resulting in pictures that look unnatural and jarring. The iPhone, in contrast, captures the world as it truly is. The colors are rich and lifelike, the detail is crisp without being artificial, and the overall image has a beautiful, professional quality that Samsung's software simply cannot replicate. The difference is even more staggering in low light. Here, the S25 Ultra completely falls apart. It struggles to handle highlights, blowing them out to the point where large parts of the image become unusable white blobs. It crushes the shadows, destroying any detail in the darker areas of the photo. The iPhone's performance in low light is nothing short of magical. It balances the highlights and shadows perfectly, preserves an incredible amount of detail, and produces a clean, sharp image that looks like it was taken on a dedicated mirrorless camera. Even Samsung's one supposed advantage, its 10x optical zoom, is a deception. While the image might look okay at exactly 10x, any zoom level before or after is a mess of digital noise and processing artifacts. The iPhone's camera system, combined with professional features like ProRes video and the new log recording format, offers a level of creative control that Samsung can only dream of. It's a tool for artists and creators, while the S25 Ultra is a toy with a gimmicky zoom lens. And just as Apple is extending its lead in hardware, it's about to lap Samsung in the next great technological race: artificial intelligence. For the past year, Samsung has been marketing itself as the AI phone company. They were the first to rush a suite of AI features to the market, and they want you to think that makes them the leader. But Apple just demonstrated to the entire world why being first does not mean being best. The launch of Apple Intelligence has completely changed the game, exposing Samsung's Galaxy AI for what it really is: a cluttered, confusing, and ultimately useless collection of features. Samsung's approach to AI is to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. The result is a messy, disconnected experience that feels bolted onto the Android operating system. Some features are neat party tricks, but none of them fundamentally improve the way you use your phone. Apple, as always, took a more patient and thoughtful approach. Apple Intelligence isn't a separate app or a hidden menu. It is woven into the very fabric of iOS. It works seamlessly across all your core apps, making your device smarter, more personal, and infinitely more helpful in ways that actually matter. But the most crucial difference, the one that should make every potential S25 Ultra buyer pause, is privacy. Galaxy AI relies heavily on the cloud, which means your personal data, your photos, your messages, your search queries, is being sent to Samsung's servers for processing. Apple Intelligence, on the other hand, is built on a foundation of privacy. The vast majority of tasks are handled directly on the A18 Pro chip, meaning your data never leaves your device. For more complex requests, Apple uses a system called Private Cloud Compute, which offers a level of security and privacy that Samsung's system cannot even begin to approach. This isn't just about features, it's a fundamental difference in philosophy. Apple believes your personal information belongs to you. Samsung sees it as a commodity to be processed. Beyond the specs, beyond the AI, there's an even bigger reason why the iPhone is the superior choice. When you buy a phone, you're not just buying a piece of hardware, you're buying into an ecosystem. And this is where the iPhone 16 Pro Max delivers its final decisive blow. Samsung will try to woo you with gimmicks like DeX, a feature that promises to turn your phone into a desktop, but in reality is a clunky and impractical solution that almost nobody actually uses. It's a solution in search of a problem. Apple, on the other hand, gives you something that isn't a gimmick. It's It's an ecosystem that fundamentally changes the way you work, communicate, and create. The seamless integration between the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac is something that the Android and Windows world has been trying and failing to replicate for over a decade. Features like AirDrop, Handoff, and the Universal Clipboard aren't just convenient. They create a workflow so fluid and intuitive that once you experience it, you can never go back. Group chats on iMessage just work. FaceTime video calls are notoriously more stable and higher quality than any Android alternative. It's an ecosystem built on reliability and simplicity. Then there is the single most damning piece of evidence against the S25 Ultra, its value. It is a well-documented, undeniable fact that iPhones hold their value far better than any other smartphone on the planet. Buying a Samsung phone is like driving a new car off the lot. Its value plummets the second you open the box. Buying an S25 Ultra isn't an investment, it's a financial liability. The iPhone, however, is the smartest investment you can make in tech. You will get a significantly higher percentage of your money back when you decide to sell it, making the true cost of ownership far lower. It's the choice for smart consumers who understand the value of their money. So let's strip away all the marketing hype, the inflated megapixel counts, and the gimmicky features. The conclusion is not just clear, it is inescapable. The iPhone 16 Pro Max has a more premium, durable, and ergonomic design. It has a more color-accurate and vibrant display that shows you content as it was meant to be seen. It is powered by a processor that is not just in a different class, but in a different dimension of performance compared to the S25 Ultra. It has a smarter, more sophisticated camera system that consistently produces better photos and videos, especially in challenging conditions. It features a truly intelligent and deeply integrated AI that respects your privacy as a fundamental right, and it is backed by an ecosystem and a resale value that Samsung cannot even begin to compete with. The Samsung S25 Ultra isn't a bad phone, but it is a phone that is playing a completely different and inferior game. It's competing with last year's technology and last decade's ideas. The iPhone 16 Pro Max isn't just the better phone. It's the only phone that respects your intelligence, your privacy, and your investment. The truth hurts, but the numbers, the performance, and the pictures do not lie. Don't fall for the hype. The choice has never been more obvious.